Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and it is all gloom and doom out there. We're going to talk about it. I'm going to show you the silver lining, and we're also going to in the group today. I'm going to show you. Look, in these times, you learn from history, folks, and history is very clear about the smart things to do. I'm going to show you what I am doing and what I'm going to be doing because of history. The playbook is very clear when you look at history. If you want to join the group, you go to daixrp.com. That's to join through the Patreon, or you can click right here on the join button below all my YouTube videos if you'd rather join through YouTube. So we've had a crypto bloodbath. Crypto normally leads the stock markets because on Sundays crypto is trading and the stock market's not. So crypto kind of over the last 24 hours has had its thing. I bought more XRP last night, and then I woke up very early this morning just because, and I saw that it had gone, I think it was down around $1.73-ish, and I bought another dip. And so what I'm doing is right now is I take not huge sums of money, but I take small amounts of money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you what I do. And when we have things like this where the blood's in the streets, I just accumulate and just kind of, if it drops a little lower, I'll accumulate a little more, and I do that at least on a weekly basis when we go through these things, and I'll show you more. But here's the stock markets. They're just getting crushed across the board. Hong Kong minus 13.6%. Now, the fact that all the economies are getting hit tells me that they're going to negotiate fast on all these tariffs, and this is why I think you're going to see us come out of this pretty quickly in terms of all of a sudden you're going to see, oh, well, it's been worked out with this country, and this country, and then all of a sudden the market's going to realize, wait a minute, it's over, and the U.S. now has a new revenue stream that it didn't have before. Trump says tariffs are a very beautiful thing. We have massive financial deficits in China, European Union, and many others. The only way this problem can be cured is with tariffs, which are now bringing tens of billions of dollars into the USA. They are already in effect. And the beautiful thing to behold, the surplus with these countries has grown during the presidency of Sleepy Joe Biden. We are going to reverse it, and reverse it quickly. Someday people will realize that tariffs for the United States are a very beautiful thing. I think that day will come sooner rather than later. And here's Trump.
You talked to a lot of leaders this weekend. Can you tell us, sir, were there any deals made?
I spoke to a lot of leaders, European, Asian, from all over the world. They're dying to make a deal. But I said, we're not going to have deficits with your country. We're not going to do that, because to me a deficit is a loss. We're going to have surpluses, or we're at worst going to be breaking even. But China would be the worst in the group, because the deficit is so big and it's not sustainable. And I was elected on this. This was one of the biggest reasons I got elected, was exactly because of this. And we're going to put tariffs, we've already put them on. It's not a question of we will. We're going to put them on. And those tariffs next year will make us $1 trillion. In addition to the $1 trillion, thousands of companies are going to relocate back into the United States.
I don't know if you've noticed a pattern yet, but Trump doesn't lose. Dom from Easy A has it right over the target. This is how it works, folks. Remember, the lower we go, the higher the chance the Fed starts printing money, the higher we go. Don't get scared out now. And then this was from Trump as well. Oil prices are down. Interest rates are down. Slow-moving Fed should cut rates. Food prices are down. There is no inflation. Long-term abused USA is bringing billions of dollars a week from abusing countries on tariffs that are already in place. This is despite the fact that the biggest abuser of them all, China, whose markets are crashing, just raised us raise its tariffs by 34% on top of its long-term ridiculously high tariffs, plus not acknowledging my warning for abusing countries not to retaliate. They've made enough for decades, taking advantage of the good old USA. Our past leaders are to blame for allowing this and so much else. I mean, that's the thing people need to realize. If somebody had not had the guts to go ahead and do this, where was the United States going to be in the next few years? In a horrible situation. Here comes the interest rate talk, folks.
Bob Michael, the global head of fixed income at JP Morgan Asset Management, writing this. Both the administration and Federal Reserve are behaving as though the market moves are business as usual. We cannot believe that the Fed will wait until something breaks before responding. Bob joins us now for more. Bob, good evening.
Happy to be here.
GFC.com, the pandemic. Frame this moment. What is this for you and the team?
Well, I was reading Larry Summers earlier, who pointed out that Thursday and Friday were back-to-back the worst market drops, except in three other instances. The 87 stock market crash, 2008, the financial crisis, and then 2020, COVID. So this is a historic period.
And every time they do the same thing.
As you point out, we're down another 5%. I would tell you, in the other three instances, the Fed stepped in immediately and cut rates sizably. So I think for now, if you go back to Friday, the Fed can talk tough. They have to be looking at this. I don't know if they can even make it to the May meeting before they start bringing rates down.
At the same time, nothing.
Okay, so you see that's already been talked about. It's not just in the United States, though. This guy's talking about China.
It's digging in. In a front page editorial in the People's Daily, party mouthpiece, China said that don't panic, and we've got your back, basically promising to support the domestic economy by stimulating consumption. It also floated previously mentioned measures such as cutting rates and lowering the reserve requirement for banks to support lending. All those measures, they are more likely now because of the market reaction and also because of potential weakness in the economy because of the...
So the same playbook is being worked. Now, it's important now that you learn from history. This guy says this is the worst market crash since the COVID crash of 2020. So I went and looked it up on Grok. And after the initial COVID-19 crash in March 2020, the crypto market underwent a dramatic transformation. A swift recovery in mid-2020 paved the way for an extraordinary bull run through 2021, driven by stimulus-fueled liquidity, institutional adoption, and technological developments like DeFi. While the crash tested the market's mettle, the subsequent rally affirmed cryptocurrency's growing role in the global financial landscape, evolving from speculative fringe to mainstream investment class. So bottom line is, folks, this is how the game is played. And in the group, I'm gonna show you how I'm doing it and how how history shows us it works. Then on top of that, you've got these countries, you know, all they're really focusing on is, everybody's scared about tariffs. But the thing to really focus on is the deals that are being made.
I got a report from the USTR last night that more than 50 countries have reached out to the president to begin a negotiation. But they're doing that because they understand that they bear a lot of the tariff. And so I don't think that you're going to see a big effect on the consumer in the U.S. because I do think that the reason why we have a persistent long-run trade deficit is these people have very inelastic supply. They've been dumping goods into the country in order to create jobs, say, in China.
So... and then here's Japan. This is the kind of stuff, that's why I think this stock market's going to be a whipsaw. Not just the stock market, but crypto even more so. Japanese Prime Minister says he plans to visit the U.S. as soon as possible to pitch wide-ranging deal over tariffs with President Trump. And then you have this. Let's not forget this, folks, because when this liquidity is turned on, make no mistake, crypto is in play. And during the COVID crash and the later crypto bull run, we didn't have the legislation that we're about to have.
And we are going to put a lot of thought into the stablecoin regime. And as
almost as if it was timed.
President Trump has directed.
Ask yourself a question. Did Trump not know that initially the tariff stuff would shake the markets? Of course he knew.
We are going to keep the U.S. the dominant reserve currency in the world, and we will use stablecoins to do that. Thank you.
You know, you've been told that crypto is just this libertarian thing that grew out of nowhere or whatever. No. This is a long-term plan to protect the dollar. Now, there's another good lesson in these markets, and that is, and again, I'm not a financial advisor, but don't buy crypto, one of the riskiest assets on the planet, with leverage. You know, these are the times when guys like Michael Saylor, who do things that are not responsible, in my opinion, guys like this go down in things like this. If the thing lasted too long, a guy like this, these are the type guys that get taken out in these kind of things. And that's why you never buy crypto on leverage. You always keep a good amount of cash on hand for emergencies. That's how I do it. I'll say it again, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just telling you the way I think about markets. I'm not going to play this video, but you know the drill. Oh, Bitcoin should replace gold. We should sell the U.S. gold and buy Bitcoin. Well, if today doesn't prove to you the ridiculousness of that whole narrative, I don't know what should, folks. And never forget how these people play the game. Today, J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, he says Trump tariffs will boost inflation, slow an already weakening U.S. economy. So let's go back to the history books to show you how J.P. Morgan operates.
On September 12th, Jamie Dimon says Bitcoin is a fraud. He says he'll fire any one of his traders buying Bitcoin. Bitcoin drops 24%. When Jamie Dimon speaks, people listen. So that weekend, we found out that the largest buyer of a Bitcoin fund that's in Europe that buys physical Bitcoin, right? The largest buyer was Morgan Stanley and JP Morgan. And that's not illegal.
He says it's a fraud.
It says he'll fire anyone that buys it. Yes.
And at the same time, his company is buying it.
His company is buying it.
It's just, so unethical.
That's the game, folks. This guy has it right. We're all taught to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. It's the most famous stock market saying for a reason, but most retail don't practice this. And if you don't, you'll never be a good investor. I agree. Now, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon. You can also join by clicking right below this YouTube video to click the join button. And we're going to talk kind of about this. And I'm going to show you what I'm doing during this and why I'm doing it. We're going to learn from history. I've been through a lot of these crises. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Watch this.